I just came through to remind us one person in alignment, just one person in alignment, worth a million who not. I just came through to remind us of that and also remind us that you had the opportunity to be the proof. Not only me, I ain't the only one. You got the opportunity to be the proof. It's so crazy how we be, you know, how we can repeat things without investigating what it is that we may be repeating, But when you sharp-minded, or quick-witted, and you know how to think independently, regardless of what everybody doing, how everybody acting, what everybody saying, or how everybody thinking in some cases. You see, because it's a program, when you know how to break them programs and do your own thinking, because that's a challenge for many people, to think for themselves. And I like to think for myself, I like to challenge the norm, cause in what's normal, a lot of it be ignorance, But that term, I ain't taking no L's, that's something I've been having to challenge lately, cause I've been hearing it, I've been hearing it from people, and it just give me an opportunity to give them something else to think on, But that term, I ain't taking no L's, been coming in my circumference, and it give me something to address. You hear me? But I'm gonna take some L's. I'm taking the love with me. I'm taking the light with me. You hear me? I'm taking laughter with me. You hear me? Is anybody listening? I'm gonna take some L's, cause the L's make you level up. You hear me? it just depends on what L you using and what L you talking about. But I'm gonna take some L's. As I said before, I'm gonna take some love with me. I'm gonna take some light with me. I'm gonna take some laughter with me. I'm gonna take life with me. You hear me? Yeah, I'm gonna take a lot of things. I'm gonna take a lot of L's with me. You hear me? Just depend, like I said, just depend on what L you use. But the L's make you level up, and that's what they meant to do. That's what they meant to do. And the worst thing we can do is not level up. The worst thing we can do is not level up from what the L's teaching us. And like I said, I'm taking love with me, cause love wins. You hear me? And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of not just going with the crowd. As I said, the sheep will follow wherever they led within the pasture that they got to work with. You know what I'm saying? But it's that one that's willing to stray off and not do what everybody else doing, or not do the norm. You see, that's gonna stand out, and it's that one that's worth going to see about. Going to see about, going to see what they see, cause it's gonna be different from what everybody else used to. You hear me? If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. But where did your power come from? Because I use my light amongst darkness and use my darkness amongst light. But where did your power come from? What is your power? and is you connected to it because you connected to it, or is you connected to it at all? You hear me? But for me, it's all that is. I use my light amongst darkness and use my darkness to protect my light, because it's all that is. But my power comes from staying true to myself, connected to myself, authentically me. And so will yours, But where do your power come from? You're going to have to know that. especially in the world of gaslighters, ridiculers, guilt trippers, love bombers, and shame charmers. You hear me? You're gonna have to know where your power come from and stay connected to yourself and authentically you as you doing it. You hear me? I say that because I live many things that go against the grain of what most people disbelieve or have disbelieved their whole life due to their system of belief, due to certain teachings or what have you, and still believe even when they unable to show a burden of proof and still believe. I live many things that go against the grain of what most people believe their whole life and still believe without showing any burden of proof because they haven't done the self-work to become it for oneself. Now, if you don't listen, you're going to miss it. I said that to say, family, we're going to have to do it. You're going to have to keep up with you. The same way I keep up with me, you're going to have to keep up with you and do everything in your power to do that. Keep up with you, because every day we rise, we have a choice. And then from moment to moment, depending on what choice we made upon the grand rising or the grand awakening or what or the grand rotation or whatever you want to call it, you hear me? But from every day we blessed with the opportunity to rotate. The sun has rotated in us again to give us another awakening to another day, and I'm thankful, I'm grateful. We have a choice, and then depending on what happens throughout the 12 hours a day that we get, within the 24 hours of a day, that we have, we have to hold on to the original choice that we made upon the rising, upon the awakening, upon the rotation, and we have to continue to choose what we chose. So if you chose to feel good for no reason at all upon your grand rising, then you got to hold that. You got to hold that. You got to hold that, and you may have to mold that, as moments occur throughout the day, because things gonna show up to see if you were able to keep that choice that you originally made. Some people wake up mad, carry yesterday with them. You hear me? That's a choice, and 9 times out of 10, circumstances appear that give them the opportunity to hold that, unless they choose something different. You hear me? But whatever you choose, you're gonna have to hold it, and whatever you choose, you're gonna have to mold it, and you might have to build on it and add on. You hear me? Cause one moment may differ from the next moment. You hear me? One experience may differ from the next experience. You hear me? But it's a lot of things going on, but as I said earlier, you got to keep up with you. I don't know how you look at your life. I don't know how you look at yourself. But I can tell you, that it's never too late to rewrite your story. You hear me? It's never too late to rewrite your story. Be your own author. You hear me? Be your own author. and that don't have to be with confusion. You hear me? But be your own author. I'm just a spark to help you get excited about it, and be ignited to do it. And I ain't come through to stay long, but just to say a few things, and drop a few reminders. And while I'm speaking of reminders, the blockages And to remove them, you have to be able to recognize them for what they is, who they is, and how they affected you, you know. And if you're able to do that, it'll get smoother, it'll get smoother, it'll get smoother, you know. And sometimes the blocks may be you. So you gotta be brutally honest with yourself if you the block, you know. If you the block in your own life, and if you the block in your own life, then you probably a block in somebody else's life. But you gotta be honest with you. We all have to be honest with oneself. Self-love is the best love. You hear me? Ain't no better time, you know, than to be improving, self-improving. Then right now, ain't no better time to be coming into a deeper relationship with ourselves. Then right now, ain't no better time than to be a friend to oneself other than right now, cause it's a lot going on. You hear me? And if not you, who? Cause I can't do it for you. You know, I could be an igniter. You know, I can say a lot of things to get you excited, but I can't do it for you. So if not you, who? You hear me? I'm definitely against the grain and doing what I do to be who I be when no one watching. So, you know, when I say self-love is the best love, that's going to say a lot about the type of work that we do on ourselves, if we doing any work at all. And salute to us that is, you know, that is doing the self-work, the shadow work, the self-improvement, the emotional fitness, you know, the mental disciplining, you know, the physical discipline, and so forth and so on, you know. Because how else you gonna get the witness your multidimensional self? How else you gonna get the witness your multi-dimensional self? I display mine every time I show up and show out. But how else would you get the witness your multi-dimensional self? You know, as a stream of light, unless you tap more into it. You know, as you tap more into it, you know. I display my multidimensional self, as I said just a minute ago, every time I show up to show out. But this just my, and how I do that is just my way of doing me. You hear me? And I just have a different way of doing things than most. You heard? But how you gonna tap into yours? Consistency will be key. Authenticity will be key. You know. Especially when it comes to being you. Authenticity is key to being me. And it takes consistency to evolve, to expand, continue to grow. You know, and how we gonna do that, you know, but consistency and authenticity will be key, you know. And as life challenges us to challenge ourselves, I want to remind us to be kind to ourselves. You hear me? You know, I challenge myself every day to be better than I never been. How are you challenging yourself to be better than you never been? Cause you already know what's already been and what already was. So how are you challenging yourself to be better than you never been according to what already was? You hear me? You know. In the history in the history of ever. How you challenge yourself to be better than you never been in the history of ever. You hear me? So I challenge each and every one of us, you know, to challenge ourselves. Not challenge yourself how I challenge myself, but challenge yourself how you challenge yourself. You hear me? Because if not you, who? You hear me? If not you, who? I said all that to say what I said in the beginning. It's up to you to keep up with you. You know? It's up to you to keep up with you. You hear me? And ain't nobody can do that like you could do that. You heard? Like I ain't come to stay long. I just came to make my presence felt to pop up. you know, to pop up. And remember, the L's make you level up. You hear me? If your L represent love, if your L represent light, if your L represent laughter, if your L represent life, if your L represent living, who don't want to take a L? Who don't want to take a L? I'm gonna take some L's, cause I'm gonna take love with me. I'm gonna take life with me. I'm gonna take laughter with me. I'm gonna take life with me. You know, I'm gonna take living with me, cause we don't die. You heard? But I just came through to show my face, man. You hear me? Feel good for no reason at all. Stillness, abundance, love, light, health, and wholeness to the cosmic conscious family and soul tribe. New subscribers, thank you. Welcome. You hear me? Peekaboos and passerbys, thank you too. You hear me? Remember, it's backfire season, and you the reason. Keep doing the work. I love y'all, man. I'm known as Sawu. Be you how you be you. Until we do it again, peace.